Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season. For me, it has begun. Today we are going to be doing a video, of course, on the Cozy Chrysanthemum Bargain Bead Box for November 2023. As you can see, I'm already wearing my finished pieces here. So I'm going to be doing a full dedicated video to this and the pair of earrings. For these pieces, these are not complicated at all, so you won't have any trouble. They're very easy to make. I had a lot of fun actually, and these pieces are absolutely gorgeous. They look great together, and it was fun really playing with all these colors, like the yellows and the reds, just playing around with the contrasting colors and making this piece. I think it's beautiful. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to let everybody know that unfortunately I closed my website. It's just become a little bit too expensive for the amount that I sell to run the website. The fees for running a website have gone up, and it's just incredibly expensive. So I'm going to be looking for an alternative where to display my pieces for sale. I was thinking probably Etsy. I'm not really sure. I'm going to look back into that because I did have an Etsy once before. So I'm thinking about getting back into Etsy, putting my stuff there. It is a lot more affordable for somebody like me to be putting my stuff there so people can have a look. If anybody has any suggestions, I'd love to hear from you what you guys do if you display your pieces online somewhere. Let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear. So if any of you had signed up for my newsletter, I'm sorry. Everything's been shut down, even the email. So if you get a hold of me through that email, that's also shut down. But if you want to get a hold of me, any contact information will be down in the description box below for you, where you can get a hold of me until I get another place for my online store. All right, so let's get into it. So these are a few beads that I pulled out from the Cozy Chrysanthemum collection from Bargain Bead Box. That's November's Bargain Bead Box. So I'm just going to go through with you quickly what I've pulled out. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to use everything, but this is sort of what I had in mind to do this piece. First is the 6mm crackle agate round beads. These are in gold rod. These here are jump rings. Now this is from my own stash. These are 3mm jump rings in the same color as all the findings that are provided with this collection. This is a 5x3mm plated hematite flower rondelles. These are man-made beads. This here is approximately a 33mm mucate and brass pendant. So I took two of the 8mm mucate round beads. We may use more of these, I'm just not sure, but I took two that were very, very similar to each other for a specific placement in my piece, but I may use the other ones as well. In these two sections here, I pulled out the 9mm half matte crystal faceted round beads. These are in slate peacock. Very, very pretty beads. Here, the 31x24mm 18 karat gold plated pewter wreath links. This is a 30mm 18 karat gold plated brass chrysanthemum link. Isn't that beautiful? My goodness. I'm a wire lover, so this for me is just like, yay. I'm glad. We have two of them anyway. And I've also pulled out the 5x4mm brass curb chain, just in case we need it, and I think we are going to need it for this piece. I've also pulled out 8-pound fire line in crystal, and I've also got size 10 needles. So I'm going to use one size 10 needle. We don't really need a super small needle because a lot of these beads are quite big. I get these at a local craft store. Her link is in the description area, so you can go check her out. She has a lot of stuff. I did forget to mention that I'm going to be using 11/0 seed beads. These are Toho beads, and these are galvanized gold. So I've cut off approximately a 3-foot piece. Before we begin, I've pulled out the 4x3mm faceted quartz rondo beads, and we're going to add this bead as well to this next piece. So I'm going to take my needle and my thread. I'm going to add one 11/0 seed bead, one half matte bead, and I'm going to add one 11/0 seed bead, one of the 4x3 faceted, and one 11/0 seed bead. And then we're going to add our next half matte bead. And I think that looks really pretty together. So that's what I want you to do. One 11-0 seed bead, one 4x3, one 11-0 seed bead, and your half mat bead. Basically, this is what you want to create. This is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to finish using all the half mat beads. And when I get to the end, I will rejoin you and we will continue. There we are with the initial design done here. And now we're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to add 6 11-0 seed beads. I always double check. Yep, 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back through all these beads till I get to the other end. So bypass those 6 beads and go through your half mat, your 11-0, your 4x3, your 11-0, and continue all the way to the other side. And what this does is, 1, it reinforces the necklace, and 2, it makes a loop at the back here for you to add chain or whatever you want to add to it. Okay, and we're at the other end now. So I'm going to pull really tight. You can see the loop on this side. We're going to do the same on this side here. I did start out with one 11-0 here, so we're going to add 5 11-0s, so that's 6 altogether. And the reason I do 6 is because I want 3 on one side and 3 on the other of whatever chain or jump ring or whatever I'm going to do. I want, you know, the seed beads, I want there to be an even amount on either side of whatever I choose to add to this. There is the 6. I'm going to head back down. And there's your loop made on the other side. I'm just going to quickly tie off here. And I usually do that in between the smaller beads. I'm just going to tie off my last end piece, and I'm just going to go through that 6 11-0s one more time and then tie off fairly close, because I didn't leave myself a lot of thread here, which usually I leave more, but I did not. So this is the first portion of the full length piece that we're going to be doing. So we're going to go on to the next step. Now we're going to work with this beautiful stone. I think that is so pretty. Look closely at that. Isn't that a beautiful color? Now we just got to decide if we're going to have it sit this way or this way. I think I'm going to have it sit this way. Both sides are gorgeous, but we're going to do it this way. I'm just going to move this up a little bit. Now we're going to use our 30mm chrysanthemum link. Isn't that beautiful? I think I want this to be the front. And I'm going to use the back loops to attach everything. I'm going to use my small 3mm jump rings. I want to use as small a jump rings as I possibly can. I don't want to use big jump rings to attach this. I'm going to attach 2 just for a little added security. I've got it hooked to one of the loops, but I'm just wondering if I hooked it to 2 that it would sit a little bit closer to the stone. So let's try that. So I'm going to unhook one, doesn't matter which one. I'm going to unhook one and I'm going to put it on the next loop over on the flower. I just want to see if that's going to look better, and I think it might actually look better. There we go. Now we have to decide if we're going to add these ones. These ones here are neat because they have a loop on this side and they have a loop on there. Could do them that way as well. That'll look kind of nice. What I've done is I've pulled out the 8x6mm faceted glass rondo beads. These ones are in dark red. The reason I've pulled 2 of them out is I'm going to incorporate them very close here just for that really beautiful pop of red, because these actually have a little bit of red in them as well. So it'll bring that red out really nicely. I'm going to attach these two pieces here, these links here, again with these small jump rings. And as always, I like using two. If I can possibly use two, I will. It just brings a little more stability to the piece. As you can see here on the back, there's 5 loops. You can see that. I've used 2 already for this stone here. I'm going to use this loop and this loop here. Okay, so the 2 middle loops here, I'm going to use to add these 2 links. So because the loop on this link is sitting this way, it's not going to work to add this. We're going to have to add too many jump rings to make it sit like this. It's actually going to want to sit like this. So we're going to add it to this side here. So we're going to just turn it around. So I've turned it around and I'm just going to quickly close up. Now we're going to add the other one. So that's the way that it's going to sit. And I think that I can add 2. So I'm going to try to add 2 O-rings to each side just to strengthen up the piece. And there is enough room in there for the small O-rings. So that works perfect. There. Now we've got 2 O-rings on either side. And so far I think that looks really nice. Now we're ready for the next step. Okay, so we're going to add 2 11-0 seed beads. And again, I have cut a piece of thread approximately 2.5 to 3 feet long. One of the 4x3 faceted beads, the 8mm Mucate, the 5x3 hematite, one 8x6mm faceted round, another hematite, a 6mm, another hematite, and that is your first portion there. And we're going to put the 4mm crystal faceted bicone bead in here. This is in the color Lavender Steel. So let's put one of these bicones on there. Okay, and then one hematite, one 6mm, and one hematite. Let's see how that looks. Yes. So I like that. Here is where we are going to repeat that. So you want to repeat from here to here. So now we're going to add a bicone, a hematite, 6mm, and a hematite. And you will go on like that until you get to your desired length. So I'm going to finish to my desired length, and I'll let you know how much of each that I use. Honestly, you can use any pattern that you want to. So if you don't like this pattern, there's lots of beads here, so try any pattern that you'd like. So now I'm just laying everything out to have a look. And this purple here just brings out that slight lavender color. I think that looks really pretty. They just complement each other beautifully. So now if I add my loops right around here, this is where we are going to be sitting approximately. Okay, so this is what I've done. This is how long I want this particular length. And I've ended with the bicone, the lavender bicone. So you can see I've got 5 of the 6mm beads on there. So I'll just give you a close look at that if you want to do exactly the same as what I've done. So I've put 6 11-0 seed beads on the end of that, and I'm going back down, bypassing those 6 bicone, or bypassing those 6 11-0s, and I'm going to go through all those beads again in the opposite direction. Going through those beads. And I'm going to go through the loop on this one side of that leaf link. And I'm going to add 2 more of the 11-0 seed beads. Now I'm going to go back up the other way. missing the first two 11-O's that I put on there, going through that next faceted round, the small faceted round, and all the way up through those beads again, back the same way I just came. Don't forget to double check and make sure you haven't missed any beads. Just pull it tight. We're going back up here. And as you do this, going back and forth, you're going to find that your piece is a little bit loose. So just keep tightening it because you've got this end piece here that we have to sew in afterwards. So as you're going, just constantly retighten it. And then I'm going to go through those 6 11-O seed beads again. And I'm going to go down again one more time. Remember to tighten. Now my piece is actually tightening up quite well. You could go back and forth like maybe another time if you wanted to, but this is 8-pound fire line, so it is not going to break. A bead will break first. And then through that faceted bead, down through my 2 11-O's, back through that loop, and up the 2 11-O's through the faceted bead. I'm just going to tighten this again. And I'm going to go up through a couple of beads and I'm going to tie this side off. Okay, now I've attached my needle to the other side, the tail end, and I'm going to go through here and up, and I'm just going to do a couple of knots through my pattern here. Then I'm going to tie off and then do the exact same design that we just did and do it to this side here, and I will meet you back for the next step. Now that we've done this part, I'm going to attach the larger jump rings to either side here. I might not be quite finished with this section here. I'm just going to attach these. I want to see how it's going to hang because I might add one more thing. So this is approximately how it's going to sit. Now, I was thinking I would add a little bit of chain right in here. And I think I'm going to do it. I think it looks really good. So I'm going to open up this O-ring again. I'm going to take this first one off. I'm going to add the chain, and then I'm going to put that one back on again because I want it to be in the middle. And then I'm just going to straighten this chain out. Now I'm just eyeing it up. I'm not going to cut the chain. I'm going to just add it here and hang it on one of my stands, and we're going to see how it hangs. I'm just going to go put it on the stand and see how that looks. So that actually looks really nice. So I'm just going to cut that off. And that is our piece basically done. We are going to do a pair of matching earrings. Okay, so we are going to do the matching set of earrings. So I'm using the leaf links for this, the larger rondelle and the smaller rondelle. This is what we're going to use as well for the earring. If you have a head pin, use your head pin. I just don't use head pins very often, and I definitely do not have any in this color, so I'm going to do my own head pin. So we are going to get this done today. This is half round wire. This is the half round wire that's actually the gold color or the brass color, same as the findings here. This is specifically, I think, for bracelets, this one here. I'll leave a link to these. I get these rolls from Amazon. And what I did was I just took my clippers, my memory wire clippers. You look for the end. So there's the end. And I just let it sit where it naturally sits and just clip it off at that point. Run your cutters right up against where the other one starts and just clip it. And you will end up with a piece like this. We're going to add the leaf link first, like that. We're going to take the hematite bead And because this one here has the largest hole, and I think it looks really nice in there, we're going to put it on the one side of your memory wire. And then you're going to feed the other side through the hole there. So this is what it should look. Now it's going to come apart if you let go, so don't let go. And then as you press it together, you want to keep both the sides like as even as you possibly can. So this is kind of a little bit troublesome, but it, you know, just go slow. And I'm going to try to make this one here approximately the same size as the other one. So I'm kind of measuring up a little bit. You want them to be pretty much the same size. I'm going to use a pair of pliers and hold that together. I do not want to wreck my wires. So that's about the size that we want. Try to hold it in place there. I'm going to even them out a little bit. Now, you take your one side, and you can do this with your fingers, and just press it up. You can start by doing the other side as well. Just pull it with your plier. And then bend it up. Okay, this one I'm going to do the same. Bend it up, just bend it up a little. Don't bend it up completely. Then with your fingers, if you feel strong enough, just bend them up like that. Now I'm going to take some of the ends off here. So I'm going to do about a centimeter, maybe a little less than a centimeter. It doesn't have to be exact. Just make sure each side is pretty much close. Hold your wire. This one's just a tad bit longer. There we go. I'm going to take my round nose pliers. So I've got this pair of pliers marked at a certain point, and I'm going to make my little loops. Just go slow because memory wire can be difficult to bend. I'm going to take my pliers and just bend that loop closed. There we go. Now they're closed. And now I'm going to bend them in slightly. And I have an ear wire. This is a slightly different ear wire, but the same color as the findings here. And for the earrings, jump rings. And I want to make sure my ear wire is facing the right way to the front there. And then I'm just going to close that. Now we're going to trim off a small piece of this half round wire, not very big piece, maybe 2.5 inches. And with the flat side facing you or facing up, try to go to the middle, right about there. That's approximately the middle. And I'm going to press that up and squeeze it around my pliers. I'm just going to do that with my thumb. So you have this shape here. Now I'm going to press the wire so that it's sitting flat against itself. I'm going to put the large rondelle first, and then the smaller yellow one. Use my round nose pliers. Just squeeze those beads down a little bit. Press around, press down. Adjust your plier. Press around. And leave it open. You want to add it to the bottom loop of the leaf link. I'm going to take my pliers here and just wiggle it around. There we go. Now it's in there. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and just hold that in place. like that. And I'm just going to do 2 loops, maybe even just 1 there. Trim off the excess. Take your flat nose pliers and just bend those wires into themselves to finish it off. And there we have a really cute, very long pair of earrings. You will see in the outro, I'll be wearing these and you can see how long they are. If you have long hair, these are great. They look stunning though. You can make these a little bit smaller if you want. If you want them a little bit smaller, you want them larger, that's totally up to you. But I do like this look. I like the hematites there that just have a really nice look to the whole earring. And of course, the little danglies. Got to bring a pop of color into this, and of course it matches with the pendant we just made. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I really like these earrings. Like, I love long, luscious earrings. These are dainty, but they are long, not heavy, because you know I don't like heavy earrings. I might be wearing these ones for Christmas just because I like them so much. I don't know. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified of upcoming videos. You guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.